Hey everybody, I'm therapist Britt. I've been making some videos recently that have been more like funny and cutesy, and they're not really getting like the engagement that I thought they should. Uh, so I wanted to go back and make like a more serious video talking about the actual work that I do in therapy. And I understand as I'm saying this, it sounds like this is a setup for a joke, but it's not. This is just like a real video. I want to talk about the power of EMDR, which is EMDR is a big part of the therapy that I do. It's the therapeutic modality that I'm trained in, that I use most often. Um, Therapists can't really like guarantee the effectiveness or the efficacy of the work we do, but we can tell anecdotes and we can share success stories. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to tell you about a recent success story that I had involving EMDR. So I had a patient, a male in his 30s. He's been married for a long time. I've been seeing him for a few years, 2 years maybe. And in the time I've known him, he's been in an abusive relationship with his wife. Now, this is a situation where there's domestic violence, but the abuse, the partner being abused is male, and there's some stigma around that, around like identifying with that and being honest about that. But he was pretty upfront and honest about that, but still struggled to like make changes, stand up for himself, leave the relationship. There was a lot of codependency, a lot of attachment issues. And so one day, something particularly bad had happened. It wasn't the first time something like this had happened. But I said, I think we really need to do some EMDR to get at the root of what's happening here and like strengthen your self-esteem, strengthen the part of you that makes decisions and stands up for himself. I said, I think you need to come into my office in person. This is a patient that I'd seen entirely over video. Now, some patients are really good on video. They're there on time. They're in the same place. The camera is steady. They're like ready to go. It feels exactly like in person. There are other patients where on telehealth, like they're always running late. They're calling in from different locations. They're like moving around all the time. Like they're not, I feel like they're not entirely as focused. And this patient was like one of those kinds. I think we had tried EMDR in the past, but it was like hard for me to like get him to really like focus in. That being said, I've had tons of EMDR work that I've done over video that have been incredibly successful. But in this case, using my therapeutic judgment, I said, I think you need to come into my office in person. That's what he did. This was like, I'd known him for 2 years, but yet this is the first time we were meeting in person. So he comes to my office. We do the EMDR, and we're targeting like a childhood memory. We're not targeting anything to do with his marriage or his relationship or the abuse that's been going on. We went all the way back to some, family abuse that was happening when he was a little boy. The EMDR took place over 2 sessions. It was really intense. It was really powerful. There was a lot of healing going on. And it felt really good in the moment. He felt really strong and strengthened. And then, I kid you not, a week later, he was filing for divorce, separating from his wife, finally standing up for himself and doing something that he had struggled to do, really like for, probably like the last decade, but at least since I'd known him the last 2 years. So I can't say for certain that, the EMDR resulted in that behavior, that action, that decision, but I can tell you like the linear way that it evolved, the way that I saw it happen. So maybe that was EMDR. Maybe it was something else. I don't know, but I could tell you that EMDR, it was in there and it happened. And, now I've just been supporting him through this process of separation, and he's doing great. and he's healing. And I don't know. I'd like to say EMDR played a really big role in helping empower him to step into his power and really stop being afraid, get over whatever attachment issues he had, and finally prioritize himself and protect himself and take care of himself. And that is the power of EMDR.